economy, data is one of the most valuable assets. But how can organizations share data while keeping full control? The International Data Spaces Association, or IDSA, is a global nonprofit that sets standards for trusted data spaces, secure environments where organizations exchange data while preserving sovereignty. With over 170 members across 31 countries, IDSA is driving interoperable and secure data ecosystems worldwide. A data space uses a federated architecture, meaning data stays where it is. There is no central storage and no vendor lock-in. Through common specifications and protocols, participants can publish data, negotiate usage terms, and exchange information securely and transparently. In Malaysia, the IDSA Hub, inaugurated in 2024, is facilitated by Digital Connect Society, a member of Malaysian Technical Standards Forum Berhad and a technical committee member of Department of Standards Malaysia. Together, we are enabling trusted collaboration, protecting data sovereignty, and shaping a smarter digital future.
The integration of fintech, structured data governance, and artificial intelligence (AI) is radically restructuring the way multi-jurisdictional family offices operate. Driven by increasing structural cost, regulatory cross-border shifts, and multi-asset diversification, single and multi-family offices are actively transitioning from legacy system to AI-empowered operational engines. The operational challenges: cross-border complexity. Multi-jurisdictional family offices handle structural friction daily, operating across fragmented regulatory bodies, multiple currencies, and disparate asset classes. First, the quiet crisis: up to 80% of family office information resides in unstructured formats, which is the custodian PDFs, legal agreements, bank statements, and emails. Second, manual bottlenecks. Controllers routinely spend hours manually entering and reconciling portfolio data in Excel across 15 to 30 legal entities, exposing the office to human error, reporting delays, and internal fraud risk. The bottom line: humans stay accountable. I think this is important. Ultimately, the prime objective of integrating fintech and AI within the family office framework is operational leanness, precision, and risk reduction, not replacing human portfolio teams. While automation frees investment professionals from administrative burdens, human discretion stays completely paramount when interpreting nuances, managing family governance, navigating succession plan, and executing final allocation choices. So since the concept allows for flexible interpretation, we can highlight two handpicked SDGs that drive progress toward SDG 8 and SDG 13 within the fintech sector. So fintech directly accelerate SDG 8, which is the decent work and economic growth, by driving financial inclusion and expanding access to capital for underserved populations and micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, which is MSMEs. Through digital micro loans and mobile wallets and crowdfunding, fintechs bypass traditional barriers, enabling entrepreneurship and boosting economic resilience. Fintech drives SDG 13, climate action, by mobilizing private capital toward green initiative, streamlining carbon accounting, and lowering the environmental footprint of banking. Technologies like AI and blockchain empower consumers to track their personal carbon footprints and easily access ESG compliant investment. So our World FinTech Day experts are highlighting the rise of agentic commerce for automated transaction, the necessity of AI cost governance, and the adoption of specialized frameworks for future-ready family offices. So this trend focuses on balancing rapid technological advancement with strategic, cost-effective implementation in financial services. Good evening. You are tuning in the evening show with Stephen Poon. I'm your host for this series 6 of Unboxed² series. Once again, in the virtual room with me are the regular team of Digital Connect Society, supported by Mila University. It's live on YouTube now. We have great stuff and a little surprise. I'm very excited because we have plenty to share today. Before we get to all of that, let's start on the topic, the high-tech blueprint for future-ready family offices. Our guest today, a family office operator, turnaround CFO, and a strategic advisor with over 2 decades of experience managing complex private wealth structure across the US, Europe, and the Middle East. So she has overseen family business, family office operation, investment coordination, governance, and succession planning for portfolios totaling more than $800 million in assets. Drawing on hands-on experience modernizing financial and operational system, she brings a practical perspective on how fintech is transforming family office management through automation, enhanced reporting, data-driven investment decision, and the integration of sustainability and ESG objectives into long-term wealth strategy. So please join me in welcoming Nora Musman.
Good morning, Stephen.
Hi. Good evening from Malaysia, of course.
Good
to see you. Yes.
Good to see you. Yes. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. What a good morning over you, New York. So how's New York today? You just woken up?
New York is about to wake up. The sun has come up now.
Okay.
We're in the Battery. It's beautiful.
Oh, well, I can see that. But it's the summertime, right, over there?
Yes, we have the summertime. It's about to be for New York, it's going to be a hot day.
Oh, right. What is the temperature? What is the temperature over there?
We currently have, give me 1 second.
Is it hot enough? Is it hot enough? Sorry?
It's 6 at 6 a.m.
Okay, what is the degree? What is the temperature?
26 Celsius.
26, not bad actually. I think it's getting warmer when the sun coming out, especially during the noontime. It's going to be as hot. Yeah, it's going to be as hot as Malaysia, I believe so.
Yes.
So, what are you up to lately? Nora, and what have you been doing? Which is there any exciting you want to talk to us? You want to share with me? Especially, what is your current project?
Well, my projects are usually a little bit on the confidential side, but I have
Oops.
my
Oh well.
15 years I've been helping entrepreneurial international families build and structure family offices. I also get involved in restructuring family offices and helping founders-owned companies getting restructured as well. So restructuring is a big part of my everyday life.
Yeah, I can imagine that actually this is a really exciting job. And also this is the topic we're going to tap into that for today. So it's a really pleasure to have you on board. I know that you're a busy woman. And also, we met in Malaysia, I remember.
We did.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a good chat.
And I have a very soft spot for Malaysia. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Malaysia is always welcome you. Make sure that when you drop by next time, never miss me, okay?
Certainly not.
Okay, I think it's good. We're gonna tap into the topic today, this evening. I think it's gonna be really exciting. So some of my colleagues and also friends said this is a timely topic, fintech, and also some of my bankers' friends as well. I said this is really good actually. See what can be which is taken back from this dialogue. Okay, Nora, let's set the scene before we get into that. Based on your extensive experience blending cross-border compliance, fund allocation, and regional fintech investing, some critical strategic concern to help further optimize the multi-generational family office operations. So, Nora, how can we safely integrate Gen AI, which is a generative AI, into our cross-border compliance workflows to automate multi-jurisdictional regulatory mapping without exposing sensitive family data? I think you mentioned that earlier on, confidential.
Yes, and you're bringing, this is a great question. It always comes down to this: how do you manage confidentiality and research and AI, and also the accuracy of AI? And the way that I've experienced it so far, there are certain things where AI is incredibly supportive, right? If you need to research their software setup, if you need to compliance, anti-money laundering, there are great softwares out there that can help you speed up the process. One of the providers that I know is Castellum. They work with banks. Anything when it comes to adverse media, specifically if you have, say, politically exposed people, to do that type of research, AI has gone in leaps and bounds.
It is.
In helping companies, not just family offices, but other companies with background such compliance. There's the other part of it where I would say AI does a great job doing supportive tasks, researching. But when you then come to decision making about jurisdictions, about entity selections, about all that, I'm not sure we're ready yet. For that, you do want to have a trusted team of specialists, whether I refer legal and accounting, right? And so it's been an interesting journey of integrating the two. And then it's also the division of labor, who does what, right? How to me, I said we do a lot of our legwork, so then we're prepared that once we get to the professionals, we have a better set of questions and a better set of our way of looking at solutions. So for that, I find AI has been extremely helpful.
Well, I believe so. I think there's more to talk about this, especially in the context of fintech. So, Nora, what framework should we use to evaluate early stage technology funds like ERA? Because I think we talk about this. You also mentioned this in the synopsis. You're going to talk about ERA as a case study. So I think I'd like to know that what framework should we use to evaluate early stage technology funds like ERA to ensure the underlying portfolio aligns with the family's long-term multi-generational ESG and the legacy mandate?
Yes. So for that, again, it's really, I found it to be extremely family specific. If you look at, in my experience, when I was in the Middle East, I worked with 3 families. One was a 2-generational family spanning over 12 family members. And the next gen alone had a 20-year age span. So for that, the portfolio strategy would have been completely different. The risk of appetite would have been completely different than a founder that I've also worked with that starting his family. And again, his appetite for risk was, again, very different. So things like ERA, which is a great fund, great exposure to early stage, really depend on what is the family's objective in their investment. Now, for that, you do have FinTech, and for their FinTech can take a look at how do we want to set up your portfolio? Where is your risk appetite? How do you want to manage risk? How do you want to weight what portfolio assets you want to have? And again, I think there's this balance between governance and structure, and then using AI to apply that structure to serve whatever the family needs are.
Okay, and also we had a discussion about Kairos the other day. So, and also in this Kairos, it's going to be a really good study to talk about it as well, because this is, and also will be great and how this to be done. One of the things I like to know from Kairos is how can regional funds like Kairos be structured within a global asset allocation model to balance high growth Southeast Asian fintech venture exposure against capital preservation goals?
Can you reframe the question for me, please? I'm sorry.
How can regional funds like Kairos be structured within a global asset allocation model to balance high growth Southeast Asian fintech venture exposure against the capital preservation goals?
Well, I think what is truly helpful. So, Kairos, another great fund, and it offers. So, for example, for family looking for Southeast Asian exposure, I think Kairos is phenomenal, again, in growth stage. I think what is helpful with AI and with FinTech, for example, right now, is that we can find funds like Kairos, right? It does give them exposure to where maybe previously we wouldn't have been, because it is a smaller fund, where previously they wouldn't have had the global exposure that with AI they now are findable, if you wish. I'm not sure that I answered your question.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay because I also, because I know there's certain things that cannot be disclosed so much because of some of the confidential things. I don't talk about that. So I do understand that. But of course, I appreciate it. There are certain things that it can be just to share with the audience. But of course, things can be discussed even further. Probably not in the public domain. Can be in the private setting. Okay, let's move on. That building a high-tech, future-ready family office requires addressing pivotal operational, data, and generational challenges. So when evaluating or designing a modern framework, stakeholders must understand the key structural. First, operational intent. So I think the question is, why now? And what specific internal events, shifting investment strategies, or stakeholder goals are driving this digital transition?
Well, it's time management, security, compliance. It's, we went from having, like you said in your introduction very rightfully, we're going from 50 spreadsheets, 20 PDFs being all over, 3 separate accounting softwares dealing with 5 different currencies. Particularly for family offices with a global exposure. If you have a single family office that only operates in one jurisdiction, it's easy, right? You slap on one software, one and you have it. If you, the minute you get into a family office that has multiple jurisdictions, it can get convoluted very fast. So there's a necessity to sort of streamline operations, also information. And comes the challenge of, and I found this really challenging, particularly with, you can have the software, but let's say you have multiple jurisdictions with multiple languages and multiple sets of, say, knowledge levels. So how do you integrate it, but also keep it separate? I think FinTech and so many softwares have come out that have been making a good effort to solve that problem. And as an operator, it's finding the right fit, and then and the right fit is one thing. You can have one platform that can integrate everything, but do you have the team to support it, and does your current workflow support the technology that's coming in? And balancing that, there's a need to declutter, if you wish, and to streamline, and then do you have the human capacity and the current workflow setup and the openness within the family to integrate. So this is becoming a growing dialogue of how can we optimize it while not overwhelming.
Points. Yeah, you have made some points here. Okay, let's look at the data scalability. How will our data architecture scale to support the portfolio's volume, reporting needs, and complexity over the next 5 years?
Again, very, very family office specific. It depends on the size. It depends on the growth trajectory. So if I come in as an operator, I would probably take the lens of, all right, what is this family going to need for the next 5 years? And what is the current tech level of the team operating? And then look for the solution that integrates best with the current family structure. And there are great softwares out there that can hold a lot of data and that you can project for it. And you do want to have a system when you build it and that can grow with the company as it goes. That's very important. It's just finding something that's aligned with where the client currently is.
Okay, let's look at a single source of truth. Which centralized platform acts as the master record for our accounting, legal ownership, and performance matrix? And how is the information validated?
Like I said, there are great platforms out there. I wouldn't I wouldn't say one or the other. I would really that's not
Oops, you are so cautious about all this, but I know I because I like this kind of critical which is a debate about all this. Okay, never mind. I can understand this, but I can understand. if you want to share, would be nice. Actually, if not, never mind. We just move on. because I myself wanted to know, because that part of the world, especially. So this is going to be help many, which is especially the new way for the Asian, especially Southeast Asian ventureship. I think this is going to be really great help for us there is somewhere or something to be benchmarked. So there's a reason, me, myself, I love to know. But of course, I think audience wanted to know as well. I believe so, because I ask you because of many feedback from the audience, my delegates, my friends, they're always asking about all this. So that's the reason I just pass it on to you. This is the voice of the people, from the people.
I do appreciate the question. I have expected it. And if I had to answer it, I can't really answer it because it really, 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 for me, depends. There's softwares out there, and I might not use them depending on the family office and what they need. And I think sometimes what I will tell you, though, is, and what I have seen in companies that I'm restructuring, as well as with family offices, and those are more of the philosophical questions, right? You have advisors come in and say, and look at the problem and say, okay, you need to get X software because the team is complaining or something. So everybody goes for the next software because that's the next thing to do. And 6 months, $1 million later, the problem hasn't been solved because the problem wasn't the software. The problem was a workflow within that structure. So, which goes back to, you want to really find, to me as an advisor working with clients, is I really want to find the best solution for them. And you know what? That may not always be the latest technological software.
Understood.
The underlying problem, until you find the underlying problem. And yes, you do want to, for example, you have a Middle Eastern office, for example, right, with multiple jurisdictions. The team in one office has a certain level of sophistication. The team in another office has another level of sophistication. You have 2 different languages. You have 2 different cultures. So if you take one item and you try to apply it to all, it may not be as integrated. So sometimes you may want to accept that there's some fractionalization between the information. That's what I'm saying. It's really hard for me to give you a name.
Understood. Okay, understood. Okay, let's tap into this software things. But of course, I would not ask you I would not ask you about the name. But I just want to look at the so-called the whole so-called ecosystem. Like process documentation, is our full investment policy formally institutionalized within our software, or does it still rely dangerously on individual human memory?
I think you need a combination of both. You need a combination of both. I think you do need to have, again, you're dealing with individual families. You need to look at their objectives. What is the long-term goal? What is the short-term goal? How are the generations involved? Once you have the main structure in place where you have agreement on everybody, then I do believe it's extremely important to integrate it into the software and have that as the guiding principles, because there's a turnover in employees, there's advisors change and what have you. So you want to have that framework that's memorized within the software. Now, you also want to have the ability to review it frequently, or to review it and to assess it and to see if it still aligns. But, the original agreement, I think, happens on the human level of where we're going to go, and then we enter it into the software and have it memorized. And then also do continuous benchmarks, and softwares do that against, here is our strategy, where do we perform according to what we set out to do.
Okay, great. Let's look at the vendor mapping. How accurately do prospective software workflows map to our existing advisory processes and specific clients' requirements?
That goes back to our conversation a little bit earlier. It's, you want to take a look at your client's current structure, what they have. It's easier if you start from scratch. You build the team. You start from scratch. You take the software. You can take the whatever you believe is best, and then the team will integrate that. If you go into an existing ecosystem, you want to structure it and review it in the way that is most efficient and beneficial for the family. And there comes a cost efficiency, of course. There comes an integrational part, what integrates best for us, for the existing team, for the existing software. So that then becomes a little bit of a creative game, if you wish, a research project.
Okay, Nora, let's look at the AI security boundaries. How do we safely integrate AI into our communication and reporting pipelines while maintaining an impenetrable security perimeter around family data?
That is the $1 million question.
That's the reason why you are here.
We're trying, again, it's AI is every country has its own regulatory systems on how AI can be used, and you have cyber threats, and you have we use AI for support and research. Like I said, you want to do compliance research, you want to do looking at new markets, looking at your portfolio, absolutely. I think when it comes to more sensitive information, I'm optimistic. Not sure to what degree I'm ready to integrate.
so many confidential. Oops. Okay. I know that I asked a lot of sensitive questions here. Because
each country treats it differently, right? Is the information that you are putting into AI, is it in court? Is it confidential, or can it be admissible, or is it private, or how is it protected, or
exactly. Yeah.
There is no consistency.
Actually, yes, I do respect. I know that some of the confidential usage, data cannot be disclosed in the public sphere. I do understand that, but of course, some people, they have the consensus to do that, which is okay.
Yeah.
So from your side, I can understand that because it's your client, and then this client, they are not little, they are gigantic actually. So there's a reason. There's a lot of things that need to be really careful, the things to discuss. But I do respect that. But of course, certain things, of course, you can share in the very moderate way. We always appreciate that. Okay. Okay. Let's look at what is the I have something in mind about the inclusivity. Next generation inclusivity. How will our digital tools and platform access evolve to turn younger hairs into active, tech-savvy investment partners rather than passive wealth observers?
I think it's a two-step process. I think AI and tech are phenomenal educational tools. And if they can be integrated into a platform for the younger generation, that is amazing. And I think you want to use as much technology as that to expose them to have simulations with a family portfolio, integrate them in that, help them do analysis. I also would like to add to this, I think you want to integrate the next generation in your business operations on the day-to-day hands-on operations as early as possible. And I think technology, again, great educational tool, great research tools, helps with simulations, but the day-to-day, the witnessing of having to come up with am I going to terminate a person? Am I going to buy this? Am I going to the company? Am I going to buy this company? What am I, other than what's in the deck, right? And AI will analyze the deck for you, but really going and having that human aspect of, does this make sense? And how do I think about it? I think that is really important to expose a younger generation as early as possible. So they become, because you want the next generation to be stewards of the wealth, right? They want to preserve it and ideally increase it for the next generation. So you need, again, both. You want the educational part, the theory from technology, and then you want the hands-on operations, board meetings, presence, exposure to professionals as they run their models. Why are they choosing this investment over that investment? So I think the combination of both is extremely powerful.
Okay, Nora, I think it's time to take a look at the question posted by the audience. We have a good question posted. If you let's look at this. Let's look at the first one from the question posted by Jasmine. Jasmine, my friends, a good old friend here. Okay, from your perspective, what role should external trusted advisor play in an AI-enabled family office? How can advisor remain indispensable when technology becomes increasingly sophisticated?
Really good question. And as sophisticated as technology is, it's still, I don't know how it is in Malaysia, it still makes mistakes, or it can misinterpret situations. So that human dialogue of, we want to do X, we want to do Y, how do we do that? Technology can give you a good idea, and it becomes better. I'm not saying it will never happen that humans will be replaced, but as of today, there's still nuances that technology will not pick up in the decision making. And the second part is, Jasmine, technology can do the mathematical run of a simulation, right, of how likely is this idea going to succeed. But if you look at, say, for example, some inventions that happen like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, electric cars, would that have been a viable, from a tech perspective, a viable calculation that it would be today what it is? So there is also that human instinct that I'm not sure technology can, as of today, pick up yet. Does that answer your question?
Well, in a way, it really depends on the perspective, and also I think regionally there's a different way how the practice to be done. So, but of course, I think in your sharing here is depends on the client as well, because I think in the Central Asia and Southeast Asia, and also even North America,
especially North America, there's a huge appetite for risk. So if someone comes in with a great idea, maybe reason doesn't quite stand there yet, but you look at the person, you look at the idea, and you're like, yeah, there could be something. Maybe it's nothing, but then it could be a unicorn, and that's usually how unicorns are born, right? So again,
okay,
maybe, but not.
Okay, let's look at the next question, which is posted by Democrat Voice. I think this is the. Okay, let's look at the question. Do you agree that AI should be operated within a boundary with standard, such ISO standard and validated information, rather than it should be let lost? Okay.
Oh, I can answer that for you, but that would be a very personal opinion. Look, I think two parts to it. Generally, I believe you want to have access to all the information that's out there. And then I think, and this is where the human aspect comes in, and this is where I think we're still figuring kinks out on AI. You have to fact check. You have to do your own research. Now, you can do AI to do that. And this is why I like the idea of ultimately, maybe yes, but who does, then comes again, who does the validation? Who does the validation of standards? So it makes it vulnerable, again, to whoever is validating the data. If you let it loose, yes, you have to sieve through a lot more data to come to a truth, but
Mm.
you know it's your truth that you have researched. And again, it goes to the human element. You have to learn, and I think that's really important, going away from the family offices. For the younger generation, how do you use AI? How do you verify the data? How do you ask the questions?
Mm-hmm.
And then draw the conclusions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, exactly. I can't believe our time is flying so fast, but I do have a few more concerns to be highlighted. So it is about governance and long-term sustainability.
Mhm.
Okay, let's look at this point. The future ready family office blueprint merges AI stacks with institutional grade governance.
Repeat that for me, please, one more time.
$1 managed on data integrated system.
Stephen, you
Yeah.
froze for a minute. I'm so sorry. You froze for a minute. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna, set this scene again because some of the things in my mind about the governance and sustainability.
Yeah.
Okay, the future ready family office blueprint merges AI stacks with institutional grade governance frameworks and impact-driven investing, with over 100 billion US dollar managed on data integrated system, moving from manual spreadsheet to secure automated oversight is essential for bridging knowledge gaps between generations. Modern family offices face a paradigm shift where informal institution-based wealth management is no longer viable. So the key areas of the focus require immediate strategic alignment. From the technology point of view, is your office, let's say you yourself as a practitioner professionally, is your office still relying on spreadsheets, or do you utilize integrated AI capital intelligence stack and secure digital vault platforms?
A mix.
A mix.
We use a
Would
mix.
you like to share this a little bit more in details?
There are.
Is it a sensitive question again?
No, I think that the best answer is it's a mix, and it again depends on country jurisdiction. Yes, we still do use spreadsheets, and yes, we do also have other platforms that we use to stack information, and it's very specific to country. It's specific to so. The best way I can answer you is you want to improve your technology to have an operating platform that integrates as much information as possible, that is centralized. That helps with time management, it helps with data management. You want it to be secure. And there are situations where you still may want to have a fragmented part.
Okay, let's look at the governance point of view. Is family decision making, voting rights, and conflict resolution mechanism formally documented, or are they informal and persons dependent?
I can tell you what I prefer. I prefer the formalized integrated systems. It makes it easy for everyone, right? If you have a formalized system that deals with governance, the voting rights, and conflict resolution, there are no questions. Everybody knows where they stand, and it goes with the generations. Now you can make changes, but then you make the changes based on an established system, which is beneficial for everyone. Do families, especially younger families and new family offices, operate on that.
I can feel that way. Okay, I can understand.
As a consultant, as a client advisor, I would go into a family saying, "Hey, listen, the first thing we're going to do is let's deal with this and formalize
Okay.
it." That's your objective. That's the gold standard.
Okay. No, it's amazing. So many PNC here. Okay, let's look at the sustainability. Do your impact initiative align with active climate transition plans, or are they reliant on the unverified offsetting?
If you want me to answer on one family, I can't. I think this is where I can say each family has their own objectives. And where sustainability is an objective, there are measurements in place to benchmark against them.
No, in fact, Nora, you don't have to mention the name of the family. You just look at the autonomy, the structure you have been doing. So nobody know actually, well, which family you work with. I think you just talk about that. We don't have to name the family.
Not every family wants, not every family has an interest in sustainability investing. Many families do, and it's a great part, and it's an important part. And I would look at sustainability as another portfolio item. Does it fit into our portfolio? Does it fit into our strategy? What is the return? What's the risk? How does that compare to where the family is and their needs? Highly individualized.
Okay, let's look at the strategic leadership and the global outlook. And in an era defined by geopolitical uncertainty, inflation, and fragmented regulations, what differentiates resilient multi-generational family offices from those merely reacting to disruption?
With a plan, right? You create the family's investment strategy and the family's overall strategy and objective. And you benchmark what is happening against where the family stands. But I think, again, if you have a solid governance, you have a solid strategy that is robust, then what is on the outside world becomes noise, right? You adjust to it if you need to. And I don't think as a family office you have to really go with every whim that is happening. I think you have your internal strategy that you review, and if it's not working, you kind of have to make adjustments. But I think it's the baseline is internal, not externally driven.
Okay, let's tap into the AI and the decision intelligence. Can AI ever replace the institution? Let me rephrase the questions a bit. Can AI ever replace the intuition and experience of seasoned investment professional, or should it remain strictly a decision support tool?
As of today, I think a seasoned professional will have real life experience and nuances that AI cannot quite yet pick up. Would I make it an absolute that it will never happen? No, it could. As of today, I don't think we're there yet.
Okay. Do you want to give more remarks about this?
It goes back to what we discussed earlier with Jasmine. The AI can do an analysis, but it still lacks the intuition, right? It still lacks the, I have a feeling about this person, I can't place my finger on it, but I'm going to give them the 50,000, and then you have that exceptional event. AI will calculate it, it will calculate the risk, and that's an accurate perception. But I'm not ready to place my, I would say a seasoned professional can get exceptional analysis and feedback from AI as a support tool. The replacement, again, maybe 10 years from now, 5 years from now, yes. As of today, no.
Okay, understand. Okay, let's look at the cross-border governance and regulation.
Stephen, your picture froze, just as a FYI.
Oh, what about now? Can you hear
I can
me?
hear you, but I don't know for the audio.
Okay, because I can't. Yeah, I also see myself in black anyway from my side. But as long as you can hear me, I think it's okay.
I can hear
Something
you.
wrong with the internet connection, which nowadays. But it's okay. Never mind. We just I think we'll be back online again. But as long as my voice is going through. Okay, let's look at the cross-border governance and regulation. What governance framework should family offices establish before deploying generative AI, which is the Gen AI across investment, legal, and compliance function?
Well, this is where you want to have a really solid set of advisors in a again, I would say tax and legal advisors, compliance. You want to have a good board or a good team to help you. Now, you use AI in terms of basic research. You kind of have an idea of you want to get into a new jurisdiction. You use AI to kind of sort of do the first round of research. But when you're seriously starting to look into, okay, I want to get into this market, I want to get into this jurisdiction, cross-border. For that, I would say you really want to sit down with a professional who's on the ground, who's done it, who knows the nuances. Like AI can give you the legal structure of country XYZ is this, right? The tax structure is this. And you go to a professional and they will say, well, yes, and there's 1, 2, 3, and this is how we really do business. And those are usually two different things. And I think that's where, again, AI, great tool, but then you do want to have, especially in cross-border, like if you're going across your own border, you want to have someone on the ground who really knows the system.
Great. Let's look at the risk management. How should family offices balance resilience with the pursuit of higher returns during prolonged uncertainty?
Again, it goes down to what is the overall family objective? And you can use AI to rebalance your portfolio, right? You can use it to shorten or to like, okay, we want to increase, and for that, AI can be good. You can run a simulation, you can run an analysis. Maybe you want to increase that asset. There's a regulatory restriction coming here. You may want to get rid of that asset because in the next 18 months, we're expecting an event to happen. So for that, I think AI is phenomenal. You kind of put in certain risk factors and then you rebalance your portfolio to optimize regulatory changes and portfolio asset allocation.
Okay, let's look at the ESG, sustainability and responsible investing. ESG investing has become increasingly polarized. How can AI improve the credibility and transparency of sustainability reporting while avoiding greenwashing?
So ESG investing, again, highly family specific. Where AI, and I really apologize to keep circling back to AI is a great research tool, but again, it depends on the data quality it generates, right, and the data quality it gets. I think where AI can help is sieve through more data and help whoever is looking at is the company greenwashing or not, and then form an opinion for that. So it helps with data generation, analysis, and then decision making. As far as, portfolio selection, that again is very family specific.
Okay, let's look at this cybersecurity and data governance. Is data governance becoming as strategically important as investment governance?
Absolutely.
So how so?
More than ever. Well, again, it's data integrity. You have access to more data, and you want to analyze it in a proper way, and you want to, for starters, what data are you going to, which benchmarks on what we spoke earlier, right? What data do you want to have in your AI system? How secure is the system? Once you have the data inside, how accurate is the data? So assuring that there is integrity in the data that is provided into the AI, that there's integrity in sorting through it, is exceptionally important. Right? It always has been, but yeah, with AI, even more so.
Let's look at wealth management, the future of wealth management. Could AI fundamentally reshape succession planning by providing more objective governance and decision making?
For that question, I would like to know from you, how would you envision that? So from my experience, families still want to be very much involved in the decision making, right? In the voting, in the participation. So where would you see AI taking that role?
I'm not in the professional practice
I
in
know,
this
I know.
area. So, but
Yeah.
Of course, I can't really advise from my point of view that that will be unfair for the audience to listen to somebody who's not really from the fintech background.
Yeah. So you can. So the way I see it, the family comes up with whatever governance structure that everybody agrees to, and you add that into your system, and you benchmark against it, right? But I guess you could go back and say, well, AI can give you feedback on improving your governance, right? It can go and it can give you the weaknesses of your current governing system. But again, I think the feeder and the decision making is still within the family.
Okay, looking ahead. Let's look at this the future. Looking ahead to 2035. Just imagine that. Looking ahead to 2035, what will distinguish the world's highest performing family offices from those that fail to adapt?
Governance and smart integration of AI. Governance, discipline, ability to adjust. Strategy. So again, you use AI to implement everything, but really governance and your strategy and your ability to adjust as things change is going to make the difference between a successful family office and a non-successful. Because you need, so there are multiple factors that can make a family office succeed or fail, right? You need to buy in from all the stakeholders. You need to have an integration on all stakeholders. what decision the family is. Is it wealth preservation? Is it wealth growth? What is our appetite for risk? So everybody has to agree on that. And once you put that together, you go ahead. Where do family offices fail? Well, they get into conflict. One wants to go into higher risk. Another one wants to, how robust is that structure that you put together? And this is where you use technology for, right? Here is the structure we agreed upon. We're not going to change it, right? Or here's where you said, like you said earlier, that was a really good point. It's like voting rights. In order to change 1, 2, 3, we have to have a vote. If that structure is robust, or if it's not robust, the family office can fail within a year. So you want to have a robust structure. You want to have a strategy that works, and for that you have advisors, and for that you can use technology to evaluate your portfolio as needed, and yeah, capable team.
Okay, Nora, I'm not sure whether am I still frozen? Am I still frozen?
Yeah, you're still frozen.
Yeah, but I think I need to sign out and then come in here again. But never mind, I need to because it's almost at the end now. But I will go out first and then come back in. Can you stay there for a bit?
Absolutely.
You stay there because I think it's not. I think it's unfair for audience looking at me in the frozen, in the frozen, yeah, in the frozen statue. Actually, it's not nice. So I'm gonna leave the studio and then come back here again. Something wrong with the internet connection issue here.
No worries.
Okay, you just stay with me.
I will stay with you.
Okay.
You're back.
Oh, yeah. Good God. I was wondering actually how come I've been frozen for such a long time. But thankfully you can, I mean, if you can hear me. So finally I'm coming through this. Okay. For the feedback, and also Nora, we come to the end. So I want to say huge thank you for your time today. I know that you have the next appointment. You told me earlier on, so I better let you go. Actually, okay, right. I want to say huge thank you for your time today, walking us through. Your expertise was incredibly valuable. I know that although some of the sensitive information cannot be disclosed, I do understand that, but actually we can always tap into a little bit more, which is smarter when we have this interview Q&A session. Sometimes we talk about the structure, but it doesn't need to disclose the name of the family. I know that many big family behind your portfolio, so I do understand that. Okay, Nora, the perspective you provided was so well thought out gave our audience a lot to digest and reflect on. But although certain information can be a little bit more careful, I understand that. Our dialogue covers so much ground, which is from many perspectives to look at that, and I am sure it's going to spark some more questions on our end, especially when I meet up with you in the private setting. I believe you can tell me more than like in the public domain. Okay, I can understand that. I have a feeling you and I may maybe meeting up again, another conversation, and unpack those follow-up topics. Thank you so much once again, Nora, and we really appreciate you and share your day with us from New York.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much for having me. It was a true pleasure to be with you, and thank you for your questions. They brought a lot of, no, they were really, I truly, they were difficult.
Wow, you know.
Challenging. So but I appreciate it. Thank you so much, because you also, I'm walking away from this interview having a lot to think about, and I truly, I thank you for that. It was
Thank you very much. I have a reputation, hard talk.
and it's a good,
So
very sweet.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
yeah, because I like to drill my guests by in the very proper way, in another way. But it's not drilling, it's just like I want to know more from my perspective as a scholar. So, but it's not just only contextualizing, but it's also in the practical aspect. So, especially in the current context, fintech is phenomenal. So, actually, how can we integrate this
Yeah.
system in the different perspective? Of course, down the line there's a more innovation advancement coming in, especially Industry 5.0 and 6G reshape the entire fintech development. I believe so.
Yes.
So
And
yeah,
fintech, I want to say, fintech is developing right now much faster than maybe
mm,
some family offices
yeah,
are ready
yeah.
to. And I think that will
Mm.
be an interesting, and thank you for that, because that will be
Ah,
interesting, yeah, for the next couple of years, is how do you, there's so much development and it's so wonderful. And it's kind of like, how do you get family offices really ready to implement all that without getting overwhelmed? So thank you again. You've brought up really good topics, and I truly, I'm walking away.
no.
Well, you gave me a workout
hopefully,
today.
hopefully, some of the which are provocative question or thoughtful question can be
Absolutely.
profoundly inspirational, which is on you, and of course, it's going to be developed further. Of course, I'm easily to reach out. I think you can always contact me if any things you want to
Yes,
discuss about this area. But definitely,
absolutely.
the pleasure is always mine, Nora. Thank
Our
you.
conversation will continue. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you again
Yeah.
for having.
Yeah, I know that. You enjoy your day. You just started your
Thank,
day.
thank you.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
send my love to New York.
Well, you will have to come. You will have to come to New York now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Okay, audience. First of all, many apologies. I realized that I was frozen for quite a little while. So then I realized that I have to left for a bit and then come in here. So apologies, but hopefully, which is my voice is still reaches over to everybody here. Okay, let's look at some of the things. Of course, Nora has been very cautious about some of the P&C things cannot be disclosed because of family office business. It's a different form of the business. So it's dealing with all the so-called the millionaire, billionaire. So there's a lot of things cannot be disclosed. I do understand that. But we do chat a lot, which is about this area of expertise. But of course, some of the findings I'd like to share with you based on Nora and also as well as my own research. Leading multi-generational family offices now deploy artificial intelligence, which is AI, to navigate global volatility and protect wealth, which is Nora has mentioned this, by integrating advanced machine learning and explainable AI. Firms strengthen governance, optimize investment, and automate compliance across border. These technology-driven transition ensure sustainable growth and safeguard legacies for the next generation. So, right, my final quick thought and sharing here, some of the notes I've taken, also combined with my research, my study throughout the last couple of weeks. Building resilient family offices for a new era. As global markets become increasingly interconnected and unpredictable, multi-generational family offices must evolve from traditional wealth custodians into technology-enabled strategic enterprises. AI is no longer simply an operational enhancement, but it is becoming a core capability that strengthens governance, improves cross-border compliance, enhances investment intelligence, and supports long-term sustainability objective. Of course, obviously, Nora didn't, which is highlighted so much the sustainability. But I still do see in this perspective along the way. By combining AI-driven and analytics with experienced human judgment, family offices can respond more effectively to geopolitical uncertainty, regulatory complexity, and rapidly changing market conditions while preserving family values and legacy, which is we talked about it earlier on. So the adoption of AI across wealth management continues to accelerate. Industry studies estimate that more than 70% of financial institutions have implemented and are piloting AI solution. While AI-enabled automation can reduce operational compliance caused by 20 to 30% through streamlined reporting, document processing, and risk monitoring. Reflection from Nora. AI-assisted investment research has also demonstrated the ability to of structured and unstructured data points in real time, significantly improving the speed and quality of the due diligence and portfolio decision making. Meanwhile, global sustainable investment assets are projected to remain above 40 trillion US dollar over the coming years, reinforcing the importance of the integrating AI into ESG analysis and impact measurement. Ultimately, the most successful family offices will not be those that simply adopt new technologies, but those that strategically combine AI, strong governance, cross-border expertise, and long-term stewardship into a resilient, which is as highlighted by Nora. In an era defined by continuous disruption, the future belongs to family offices that embrace intelligent innovation, strengthen intergenerational collaboration, and create sustainable value that endures across generations, which is I see that way. So on that note, we will have to call it a day for this evening. And so for our technical master and of course the DCS working team, a thumbs up from here. Unboxed² series organized by Policy Research and Engagement Initiative, PREI from Digital Connect Society, DCS, and supported by Milan University. Till then, take care and each other. Happy evening.